Hi guys, Coach Victor Robledo, and today I'm going to tell you to not do this one thing if you think you are suffering from adrenal fatigue. Before we get into that, I'm Coach Victor Robledo. I've been helping clients and friends for the last 30 years, help them understand what they need to be healthy. Their own personal exercise routine, their own personal mobility, their own personal rehab and prehab exercise, and their own personal nutrition. So hopefully after this video, you have a better idea on how to take care of yourself. Now let's get to it, and I'll let you know what thing you don't want to do if you are suffering from adrenal fatigue. So before we get into that one thing, let's remind everyone what adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion or adrenal insufficiency. If you Google any of those things, you're going to get a huge amount of information. If you happen to go to a doctor, they're probably going to tell you that it doesn't even exist. So what is it? Adrenal fatigue is a stress-linked disease that affects a huge proportion of Americans, particularly because we have a high stress, high paced life. But some of the symptoms are that wired and tired, sleep abnormalities, weight gain, libido changes, injuries, and one of the big ones is this sense of dehydration, to name a few. You'll get all these mood swings, blood sugar management problems, anxiety, and depression. And so that one thing that you don't want to do that happens to a lot of people when they go to the doctor is cut your salt. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But one of the big things with adrenal fatigue is that you're constantly feeling dehydrated, like you can't hold on to water. And remember, we're talking about adrenals, we're talking about those two walnut sized little glands that sit on top of your kidneys. And they produce aldosterone. And aldosterone is a hormone that's absolutely critical in salt reabsorption. And this is why one of the first things I have my clients do to test if they have significant amounts of adrenal fatigue is I have them put a little Himalayan sea salt or some sea salt in their water and see if they start feeling better. Now, when you have this insufficiency, what ends up happening is that you're not holding on to your salt. So if you remember your basic science, you're going to get movement, osmosis of water towards the salt is. And so if you're drinking lots of salt, which a lot of people that suffer from adrenal fatigue they're just constantly dehydrated, they're constantly in the bathroom, they don't know why they can't get hydrated. It has to do with the mineral content of your body, and aldosterone is going to let us hold on to some of the salt and make sure that we're retaining that. And so what happens when we have the fatigue, this insufficiency, these little glands can't put out anymore. And so what ends up happening, the water goes in and it promptly comes out. And worse off, sometimes it starts washing out a lot of the minerals. So the worst thing you can do, that a lot of doctors will recommend, because you go in and potentially you'll have a panic attack, or you'll have some angina pectoralis, like you feel pressure here because stress is so high, you're not feeling good, you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, and you go in and they're like, okay, well, let's put you on a low fat, low sodium diet. And guess what happens? They end up feeling worse. Your feet feel worse, your aches and pains. You get up, you almost feel like you're gonna pass out all the time. So make sure, just add a little bit of salt into your water, and that can be the key ingredient to start you to understand that you might have adrenal fatigue, adrenal insufficiency, adrenal exhaustion. I help people every day with adrenal fatigue. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Oh, I almost forgot. Make sure you subscribe and like this video so it sends it out to more people and we can help them. And if you need some help, let's set up a consult. I love to set up consults, talk with individuals, and put together plans. Thanks.